ang nakasulat, ano yan kumakalat talaga yan And yun nga yung favorite ng mga tao di ba? Sasabihin nga nila, yun nga yung masarap Pati, kaya nga, wala yung monitor. Kaya nga nagkaganito na ako dahil dyan di ba? Naisip mo minsan yung pagkatao natin, yung technology ng pagkatao, it's also like being a computer, umi-score, tumatype, thumb type, wow, what are these metal sounds? Naglilinis, whatever it is that where you found syncretism, for example, yung kunyari, nung tumatanda ako sa intelligentsia, yung mga naririnig ko na, ito anak ko to, or even in Judaism, di ba, may thing pala na ganun na, ito anak daw nito, di naman na anak talaga. Alam mo yun, parang extension of the hierarchy perhaps. Like, kumbaga, the all-encompassing genre breaker for all animes, it's all syncretism, di ba? It's all like, the product of Nihonjin people sort of idolizing Western culture as a reaction to them getting bombed and fighting back sa world history with technology, both technology and their drawing capacities and anime, right? And that's also technology. So wala namang ganun sa atin sa Pilipinas. Lahat naman ng napakagaling ng mag-drawing dito, which you could just totally compare, to just sum it all up, just totally compare to the technology of making like a Marvel movie, which is maximum todo to the max syncretismo, to be honest. Wala akong masabi. Sobrang ganda ng movie na yun.
Hi. どうぞ。これは日本人クラックソロポッドキャストです。これに加えて FCI マンタネの類似様のブランドです。
はい、どうぞ。これは日本人クラックソロポッドキャストです。これに加えて NCI マンタネの類似様のブランドです。
Check dyan. Where is it? There. It's working. Okay, welcome guys to the Nihonjin Crack. Recorded live from TBS Studio. My name is Rez. Brand po ito ng ito po yung brand ko para sa mga aking brads. Also, lots of disclaimers have been said, but I'm following up and doubling down on syncretism. Yung naisip kong intro for now, let's just get right down to it. Magahat ako para cool. Para hindi tayo sumagad. Ayaw na masyadong sumasagad kasi bukod sa wala namang nakaka-reply sa akin, mahirap din yung may masyadong mag-churn. Nag-churn kasi yan yung mga nakikinig. Kunyari, dati mga nakikinig sa akin nasa 600 plus. Nalaman natin nila yung secrets ko. Yung secrets. Yung mga, siguro na natitrace na yung action nung sikreto ng mga sikreto ng mga tulad ko. Di nila natripan or nalaman nga nila na I can't give 20 minutes to this type of person. It's just burning all my brain cells kind of thing. Maraming ganyan kahit mga kapatid ko nasa dugo mismo. Talagang hindi nila ako kinakaya. Anyway, but kung kaya mo pa, just let's have at it, astig kasi yun nga, like I say, I always can just turn on the mic, and it's not that I would feel better by ranting or anything. I'm also excited by the process, and it's like part of my work. If you're watching and you notice the quality changes or whatever, I am working at it video. Also, tinatrabaho ko din yung pagiging consistent. So, it's part of it, I guess. And then I think on YouTube, mas malinaw. And then I'm also making a Telegram channel. So, that's more, magkakaroon ng ibang access, I guess. O mas accessible yung stuff na mahanap natin dyan. And then, I'm finding time also to, logistics lang muna. I'm finding time also to make mga MP3 para you don't have to see my face all the time if you want just the audio. But yeah, in general, hi, hello, like and share. Ganun naman usually yung parang ethics of video making. If you like my video, if you want to share it around, want to edit it around, you want to clip it, want to just whatever, it's totally free content. So, all those sort of, ano bang tawag sa ganun? Kalimutan ko eh. Common rights rules applies. Just, credit me for whatever original or creative things that might go along with that. Tuloy natin yung gusto kong intro ngayon sa syncretism, yung lagay natin sa tech syncretism, because I do identify as a sort of a technocrat, which is why if people in tech also, people who worked in tech, they follow me. They over the course of my career, I think it's very important that similar people or similar people na may sasabi na could identify as someone smart, or alam mo yun, yung naasar nanay ko dito pag yung sinasabi ko sa kanya, anong problema? Masyado bang matalino? Diba? Problema ng mga tech yun, diba? Because information goes around. We absorb a lot of information, and yung word lang sa Tagalog is masyadong matalino. Diba? Yung ganun ba? And yung may mga tao talaga na naiinis sa mga masyadong matalino, quote and quote, I'm doing the quote fingers here. Because mahirap nga naman, like I said in the previous video, when it comes to syncretism, mahirap sagutin. Kailangan mo sagutin with double the emotion or double the angst or double the peace, if that makes sense with you. Makes sense for you. So syncretism is also defined as the amalgamation or merging of inflection points in sa salita. So yun yung mga halo-halo ng pagkakatambad-tambad ng mga narinig natin sa cultures. In the previous video, I also used the word mantanin, o yung parang kumbaga yung tagline ko dito, yung or motif mantanin o rigi, na parang pambreak nga nun na as, because I use what I call trending onomatopoeia. Yan yung simply put, alam niyo ba yung bus brand na super lines? Ang basa ng iba dun, super linis. So that is a good example, or my simple example of yung trending onomatopoeia in the mind. Yun yung nomenclature ko for it, meaning jargon, tawag. Kasi alam ko hindi pa yun yung tawag. And to say that it is exactly syncretism, I don't think so, because I've also said na merong antidote dyan to syncretism, which is obviously bukod sa magsalita ka ng totoo or tama or fool people into thinking that their misconception is yours and my misconception about a certain topic is the real thing and is the point of, like, for example, fictionalizing what we are talking about. Yung pag naisip mo na yun, bagay ka dito. Pero kung di mo pa naisip yun or talagang naguguluhan ko pa dun sa sinasabi ko na yun, and you can't figure out or you're not calm about the unknowns. Maybe, for example, you're confused by the hat. You are interested in what you see behind me. Or you're not just interested. You're totally, and maybe just saying that as a listener, because I'm a listener as well, reason na, that you're totally sobrang enamored by the sensical abuse of podcast technology. So dun tayo balik na, buti naman nasabi ko. Balik tayo sa technology. Syncretism in technology, I'll mention Apple, just a good target, diba? Nung nagkaroon na ng mga M1s kasi, I totally really didn't want to invest on that na, because both sa sobrang mahal ng Apple products, I think it's syncretism that they really, and it's not a like a secret na even the founder, the Steve Jobs kuno, is a fan of that, marketing, yung laging kulang, so parang pag nagwawala siya on stage, yung mga dark secrets niya, that has become part of his story as a syncretist. And I would argue na nagagamit din naman yung syncretismo sa technology. Case in point, little bit of a review na medyo walang kwenta side of Guardian's Tree. Yung Garden Street, sobrang na-enjoy ko yun, and di ko naman namalayan na magkakasabay yung, me wanting to talk about, maybe it's just spirit of the times, Zeitgeist, which means in German, spirit of the times. Magkakasabay yung discussing ng syncretismo, and exactly this I guess series in my vlogging in Neon Crack. It does have an effect, because yung nakakaalam na pinag-uusapan ko to ngayon, I notice, a certain effort, Doryo Kodesu, na I just translated that, na may effort nga na hindi naman sa makitipon, makigather dun sa what I'm talking about right now. And I'm talking about that because nat-trigger lang din ako na yung sabi ko, I think one time yung problema nga rin sa mga taong bakit sumusunod pa rin sila or tayo or kayo sa gobyerno is because there's syncretism all around, you don't know what's real, you don't know. It's like this joke that I just recently got from Peterson also, yung they're paying you so parang whatever they say, as long as you're getting paid, then you're not really doing, kahit hindi mo talaga gawin yung best mo, kahit kulang lang yung ilagay mo dun, kumikita ka naman diba? Nakapag-withdraw ka naman, napapakain mo yung pamilya mo sa ganun. I'm not saying that you should be guilty about that. Definitely, you have been already guilty about it. And you have, naisip mo na yun for sure, kung matalino ka naman na tao, na pag-isipan mo na yung mga ganung problema sa life. Definitely the antidote to syncretism, kung sinasabi natin na that is totally wrong and that is totally kulang, is just take it as face value, like make it like the punch in your face na whatever it is that where you found syncretism. For example, yung kunyari nung tumatanda ako sa intelligentsia, yung mga naririnig ko na ito anak ko to, or even in Judaism, di ba, may thing pala na ganun na ito anak daw nito, di naman na anak talaga. Alam mo yun, parang extension of the hierarchy perhaps, but in language it's the most basic sort of for me, another example of syncretist, kasi hindi naman kayo parehas ng kultura. Nahanap mo lang yun sa bundok, diba? Nahanap mo lang yun yung tao na yun sa pumunta lang dyan, napadaan lang sa inyo, diba? Tapos anak mo na, pinapakain mo na, diba? Automatically, like more than your own son or more than your own daughter or more than your own, loved one or friend na tambay na dyan, tambay na dyan ng 10 taon. Tapos, di ba, yung iba pang tao, yung pinapakain mo, parang syncretismo din yun, di ba? Parang dahil kunwari daw anak mo yun, or kaya gusto mo daw i-adopt yun, or you feel some sort of a new connection to that persona, not entirely the thing, because, maybe nakukyutan ka lang sa kanya. And then you realize, there's a lot of cute people out there, di ba? Kawaii. And maybe you're just being Japanese about it, diba? Ni Honjin, about your thinking. So that main example really is not naman that I'm self-contradicting here. Yun na yun. Talaga namang yun yung iniisip ko lagi. Ganun na ako mag-isip. Yung mga laging nanonood ng anime, for example. I also wanted this to be part of my intro. I'm the generation who grew up with Yu Yu Hakusho. So nung bata pa kami, yung Yu Yu Hakusho talagang tinatranslate namin yun as, is it really ghost fighter, ghost detective kind of thing? So in the translation of that, like I mentioned in the previous video, sa translation pa lang meron ng trending onomatopoeia, which is like ghost and fighter. Yung fighter, may fight na dun, tapos meron pa yung parang progressive, yun talaga yung ginagawa niya. And true enough, if you really study syncretism, lahat naman ng anime, like kumbaga the all-encompassing genre breaker for all animes, it's all syncretism, diba? It's all like, the product of Nihonjin people sort of idolizing Western culture as a reaction to them getting bombed, and fighting back sa world history with technology, both technology and their drawing capacities and anime, right? And that's also technology. So wala namang ganun sa atin sa Pilipinas. Lahat naman ng napakagaling ng mag-drawing dito. Case in point, was the cousin of a friend of mine who got involved in the music video of Daft Punk, for example, yung anime ng Daft Punk. Someone got involved na Pinoy doon. Marami nung magaling na Pinoy eh. Na hindi na dito, definitely hindi na sila Pinoy. They won't even identify as Pinoy, definitely. Or they have forgotten what it's like to be Tagalog, definitely, because once you're there in space with that crowd of people, the robots, then definitely there's also, what I'm pointing out as technological syncretism. Balik natin sa Apple. Everyone has the iPhones. Everyone has, at some point, tried to understand what the hell they're saying. Is yung lumabas yung M1 processors. They literally came up with a new architecture that mas mabilis lang yung buzzing between and sorry to be super geeky about this, but the way I understand M1 and M1 Pros are sobrang pinabilis lang yung buzzing between different parts of a processor. Logic board, motherboard, and yung architecture nun is like a whole city but in macro form. Meaning parang syudad yun of information just living in there in your laptop. Na pinaganda lang talaga nila para hindi na kung saan-saan pinoprocess pa yung pasahero na information, quote-unquote, metaphorically speaking, na kung saan-saan pa dumadaan, nandun na siya umiikot kaya sobrang bilis na niya, less overheating, less energy and all. My criticism of that as a syncretist thing is sobrang namang bilis, diba? Nung lumalabas yung, I don't know if you guys are this geeky, but nung lumabas yung M1s, I was into it. I was following the benchmarking. Like, I really wanted to see when they were gonna test it na how much faster it was, the new MacBook Pros, stuff like that. So it's about 30% more faster. And fast and super fast isn't really a great solution as well, because now you have all that space of processing power, meaning resources, na alam mong hindi mo na optimize, diba? And in the spirit of language amalgamation and merging, you're also trying in your mind to kumbaga sa diba yung binibuild, pinapalakas mo yung litid mo, you're also trying to as a human computer, you're also trying to fit all that, that understanding, bukod sa meron ka pang ginagawa sa bahay, may inaalagaan ka pang halaman, tao, or matanda, inaalagaan mo pa. Tapos may sarili-sarili silang problema, maybe dementia, maybe cancer, lahat ng mga pagkukulang, pati mga pathologies na tinatawag. These are all things that we sort of, in a daily basis, we can all think in our minds. And kung marami ka pang extrang pera, gusto mo naman talaga bumili ng iPhone or any kind of computer, naisip mo minsan yung pagkatao natin, yung technology ng pagkatao, it's also like being a computer, umi-score, tumatype, thumb type, whoa, what are these metal sounds? Naglilinis, gumagawa. And, wala talagang point about syncretism aside from I captioned a while ago that we seriously have to define this, and I don't want to say that it is confusion, but it is confusion, because case in point, and I know this point will land. If you are syncretist with your child, if you go syncretist with your child, and for example, they ask, "How do you know this?" And then you just say, "It takes one to know one." If you want to be a syncretist, then ask another syncretist, and then you're stuck now in a list of all these historical syncretists na talagang who really sort of made the new world order. If you kind of follow that logic, wala na, nandito na tayo eh. Nagbago naman talaga yung mundo. Na isulat naman talaga nila yung mga gusto nilang isulat. For example, within their governments, within their nations. And all that, is just, if you just brush up on that, no one really cares, Like, no one really cares who lived in 1930s. It's all history now. And if you want to research that, they're papaganday na lang ng papaganday ng mga current modern artists yung itsura nila using AI, colorists, But you just go out your window or look out your window, meaning that if you just go out your window and you saw a bird and then you use that sort of high quality camera on that piece of nature that flies around, feeds around, and you're just totally enamored also by the truth of the moment, of the experience, of the human experience or the human condition nahi-heal ka na from yung pagkukulang at ideological setbacks ng syncretismo. If you know any syncretists or people who are like you, or people or things or aspects of your life that are verging on that sort of mentality, siguro the way I would like to help you in this podcast is really matumbok mo lang talaga na ayun pala yung sasabi ng mga tao na syncretismo. Kaya pala si presidente ng ganitong nation, ganyan, they are actually talking about that. And, if you bring that much syncretism into one form or media, dark as it may seem, and destructive as it may seem, it forms, let's say it's a lie, right? It's a pagkukulang. What lies and kung ano yung lumalabas sa bibig, yung sa paggamit ng dila, sa salita, kung ano man yan na lumalabas sa atin mula sa puso, mula sa pag-iisip, ang nakasulat, kumakalat talaga yan eh. And yun nga yung favorite ng mga tao eh, di ba? Sasabihin nga nila, yun nga yung masarap eh. Pati, kaya nga, wala yung monitor. Kaya nga nagkaganito na ako dahil dyan eh, di ba? Then you're just like everyone else, You have to take on the responsibility of explaining that to your children, I guess, diba? Or if you're not taking that example to explain that on your children, I know another story about this, pero I have encounters of like old people who do regret not being able to tell stuff like this to their children just because they can't define what the hell they've been talking about for like 20 years. May ganun kaming na-meet ng best friend ko na kinausap kami, pinainom kami, very good gestured, very high level na usapan, and name drops out of nowhere, man. Like, na-meet na kayo ng mga ganung matatanda. Pero at the end of that talk, I was like, as the mitigator of that, I guess, random conversation, I'm like, hey, old man, have you tried telling this to your children? And he's like, no, I can't. Tapos tumayo na ako, umalis na ako. Then that would be a nice ending na to that interaction. And that old man, who I just met randomly in a random restaurant, not so random restaurant, where I always eat, I realized, to just isuot ko lang talaga doon na siguro masyado siyang maraming alam na syncretismo. Siguro masyado siyang maraming alam na storya mula sa na uwi sa kanya ng asawa niya na apparently is a psychologist in the UN, so United Nations, 'di ba? Paano hindi ka magkakasyncretismo sa United Nations, 'di ba? Yun na nga yung amalgamation mismo of all the nations, United Nations nga eh. Kaya nga whatever they're talking about there, it's not like, or alam mo yun, organizations like that, it's not like we really, the reality is it's not like we really care. We just want them to, fine, say what you want. If it benefits us, tapos na yung COVID, tapos na yung ganito, we review our minds and like, bakit? Tinapos ko na to dati pa eh. Hindi naman ako nagpa-vaccinate eh. Hindi naman ako, mga ganun ba? Just translate it in your, like in your more gentle way. I just really want to record it like that. And yung solution ko is to be real about stuff, to be at the moment, to be present when you're explaining stuff. Because dun pa lang if you're real about the moment, if you're real about the present, you're being aware of what's inside the seat of your soul, yung kung ano yung laman ng pineal gland mo, kung ano yung nakikita mo talaga in your mind's eye. Sa atin, third eye daw yun, yung parang mga multo-multo speak, mga ganyan. Which is also sad because yun naman yung kakulangan natin as a literary culture na pag-iwanan na ng teknolohiya, which you could just totally compare, to just sum it all up, just totally compare to the technology of making like a Marvel movie, which is maximum todo to the max syncretismo, to be honest. Wala akong masabi. Sobrang ganda ng movie na yun. And it really bends your mind towards like really just laughing about it and like really considering where we've gone with all the things we have as human beings. And kung naintindihan mo yun, I think kung naintindihan mo yung sinasabi ko na yun, I think it's then your responsibility to really like react to that also, which is why I would name this the reaction to that, I guess. So maybe to get that. Okay, like I don't know if that makes a lot of sense to you, but for me, I do re-listen to my casts, and I do discuss with it also using that. I just want to end this one with like reminders that I am going to be making a Telegram group because I'm going to be making exclusives to that platform. The Meta kasi algorithm hasn't been working really well for me, especially because maraming nahiya sa akin. Maraming nahiya sa content na ganito because it's like no cuts. Sanay na yung tao dun sa, again, yung culture of like, yung mga edit, ganyan. And bahong-baho na ako sa ganun . And if you resonate with that, maybe, coming on to the Telegram or the future promised more content formats would excite you. That's one. And then also, yun, hindi naman nandito para magreklamo talaga. I just really wanted to share about this topic. Okay dun. Magulo dun. Anyway, so thanks for joining today's Neon Crap. Bukas most likely merong pang isa pa because I'm doing 2 per week. Hindi naman sa naubusan ako ng daldal or wag niyo sana isipin na sobrang daldal ko. I am a very, very quiet being. But I am social. I could, ang pag-explanation ko lang dyan sa sarili kong if I can sort of insert myself as the creator is, I'm just really good at, like putting things together. Let's end with that. I'll see you guys in the next Neon Crap. Bye.